How's it going, guys? My name is Duwork, and let's get into these matchups. So I'm going to link this down below, but Blast has a simulator that you can go through and select the different matchups to basically make sure that you're not going to get to a place where it's like, oh, I want this team to go 3-0. Like, for example, I want Heroic to go 3-0, I want Liquid to go 3-0, but perhaps maybe down the line they're facing each other and it's an impossibility for them both to go 3-0. But at the end of the day, if any of these matchups have upsets, well, your pickup's going to be completely botched anyway. So if you want to randomize it, follow your heart. But let's just go ahead and start clicking through these matchups. So first and foremost, we have Gamer Legion versus NRG. I'm going to give it to Gamer Legion because they've been just looking like a much more solid team. B8 versus Tyloo, I'll give it to B8. Heroic versus Sharks, I will give it to Heroic just based off of experience. And Bet Boom versus Gaming Gladiators, I'll give it to Bet Boom. Gaming Gladiators is also a newer team. Bet Boom's more established. Big versus Liquid. Big have been looking really good. All right, now we got M80 versus Lin Vision. This one's a bit of a toss-up. I'll give it to M80 though. MIBR versus Thunder Down Under. I love the team. I love Dexter. That could be an upset. I think it would be hilarious, but I really need to give it to MIBR. Then FlyQuest versus Sinners. This is really a coin toss as well. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to FlyQuest. All right, moving on to our 1001 stage. If I had to choose between Gamer Legion and FlyQuest, I'm gonna go with Gamer Legion. B8 versus MIBR. It's a tough one actually. I'll give it to MIBR. I think that would be a tough one. That is quite the coin flip. Heroic versus M80. Could also be a coin flip here, but I think Heroic just has a much more solid, consistent team. Bet Boom versus Big, definitely Big claim. All right, Sinners versus Thunder Down Under. Gets a little interesting. I think I'll give it to Sinners here. NRG versus Lin Vision, another toss-up. I think I will give it to Lin Vision here. Tyloo versus Liquid. It better be Liquid or I'll be pissed. Sharks versus Gaming Gladiators. Oh, give it to Gaming Gladiators. All right, who is advancing 3-0 between Big and MIBR or Gamer Legion and Hero? That's classic. I'm gonna go with Big for 3-0, I guess. Gamer Legion versus Heroic. If it's Gamer Legion, I just think they're more experienced here. And now we got Bet Boom versus Lin Vision. I'll give it to Bet Boom. M80 versus Gaming Gladiators. M80. Tyloo versus, FlyQuest versus Liquid. I'll give it Liquid. B8 versus Sinners. I will give it to B8. And now for the 0-3 slot, Energy versus Tyloo. Tyloo, you're going out. And then Thunder Down Under versus Sharks. I will give it to Thunder Down Under. Cool. All right, MIBR versus Liquid. I think I'll give it to MIBR. Heroic versus B8. I'll give it to B8. Bet Boom versus M80. Give it to Bet Boom. All right, FlyQuest Red versus Thunder Down Under. Oh man, Aussie on Aussie crime here. I'll give it to FlyQuest. And then we got Lin Vision versus Gaming Gladiators. I'll give it to Lin Vision. Sinners versus NRG. I'll give it to NRG. Interesting here. Heroic versus NRG, I'll give it to Heroic. Liquid versus Lin Vision, I'll give it to Liquid. Squeeze it out. M80 versus FlyQuest, I will give it to M80. So that's what we are looking at. So those who are advancing 3-0, it would be Big and Gamer Legion. 3-1 advancing MIBR, Bet Boom, and B8. And then 3-2 advancing Heroic, Liquid, M80. That means that those who are eliminated, 2-3 would be NRG, Lin Vision, FlyQuest, and then 1-3 would be Thunder Down Under, Gaming Gladiators, and Sinners, and then finally the 0-3 would be Tyloo and Sharks. So let's go over to Counter-Strike now and let's put in those results. So we got Tyloo and Sharks going 0-3. We have Big Clan and Gamer Legion going 3-0. And that leaves us with MIBR advancing, Bet Boom advancing, B8 advancing, as well as Heroic, M80, and Liquid. So those are my picks. Now, these pick'ems never go right, so let's be honest. If you've followed this rhythm, I mean, good on you, but at the end of the day, they're your pick'ems. You got to take ownership. So good luck with all this. That's how I'm gonna go ahead and go about it. Is let's just go line by line item. Let's see if we get lucky. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the content. Take it easy, guys.